In July, Liverpool said goodbye to Luis Diaz, who left the club to move to Bayern Munich. Having been chased by the German giants as well as Barcelona all summer, you could say he was one of the hottest wingers in Europe in that window. But hey, Liverpool got 75 million euros for him, so it looked like amazing business for them. Well, yes, making a profit on a player will always be great business, but was it a good footballing decision? No. And we'll tell you why we say so in this video. This is why Liverpool should never have sold Luis Diaz. Well, first of all, Diaz is currently firing for Bayern Munich. He has been directly involved in 10 goals in 10 appearances across all competitions for his new club. That's more goal contributions than every single Liverpool player so far this season. 4 more than Ekitike, 4 more than Salah, 6 more than Gakpo, and 9 more than Wirtz, all in the same number of appearances, 10. Diaz also has 6 more goal involvements than Chiesa and 8 more than Isak in just 4 more appearances. So the gap is quite clear. But hey, of course, it's not just about the numbers, it's also about literally everything else. You see, losing Diaz and not getting a replacement for him has changed the way Liverpool play a whole lot. First of all, with Diaz gone, it means Liverpool now have a huge problem of depth in the wide areas, and it's becoming more evident now that Salah is not yet flying like he was last season. So when you start Salah and Gakpo on the flanks and nothing is happening, which player can you bring from the bench and be sure they'll make something happen? Rio is a real talent, but he's still too young and inexperienced for that kind of pressure. Chiesa is an on-his-day type of player, if you know what we mean. Slot just does not want to rely on him every day. Slot himself knows he has a big problem in the wide areas, which is why he has tried Wirtz and Frimpong on the wings, but they haven't given him the results he wants. Now, with Gakpo and Salah as your real wing options, it means that you lose width completely. Salah is not the guy to hug the line, but of course, he's undroppable, so if you want width in your attack, it has to come from the left. But Gakpo is not really the guy to hug the line either. He likes to come inside and play sort of like an inside forward, and while that might be great against some setups, you also want to have the option of a winger who actually stretches the pitch. That's exactly what Diaz used to do. Also, Diaz was one of the best ball carriers at the club. Now that he's gone, Liverpool have lost an essential part of attacking as a big team. Every big team has that one guy who can pick the ball up from his own half and drive towards the opponent's box. Real Madrid have Vini and Rodrigo, Barcelona have Yamal and Frenkie, City have Foden, Savinho and Doku, PSG have Kvara, Dembele and Mendes, Chelsea have Palmer and Garnacho, Spurs have Kudus and Simons, Arsenal have Rice and Lewis Skelly. We could go on and on, but look around Liverpool and you'll see that they don't really have anybody for that anymore. Isak can do a pretty good job of carrying the ball, but you can't really have your striker doing the ball carrying. Salah would rather be the one making the runs, and that's just not Wirtz's style. We'd say Gravenberch is currently their best ball carrier, but he's often too deep to be taking those risks, and once the opponents block the passing lanes to him, there's just nothing he can do. So, when there's a need for a player to carry the ball over a distance and maybe create a chance or have a shot at goal, Liverpool have been found lacking this season, and you see, this affects them more than you think. When you are pressed high up the pitch, there are 2 things you need to help you break the press: a great passer of the ball and a good ball carrier. Liverpool lost the 2 players who were the best at each of those things, Trent and Diaz. Trent saw out his contract and walked, so there was really nothing they could do about that. But could they have done more to convince Diaz to stay? But that's not even all. Before we dive deeper, if you already aren't subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, another reason Liverpool should never have sold Luis Diaz is because they should have known that it would affect the press. It was so obvious that Diaz was responsible for most of the pressing Liverpool did from the front last season. His work rate is just unmatched. That dude can run the entire game and not get tired. Right now, the Reds have Isak and Salah, who just won't press, and Gakpo, who doesn't have the greatest work rate. Ekitike and Wirtz are great at being involved in the build-up, but they're just not the guys you ask to lead a press. Altogether, whichever front 4 slot has gone with this season has not proven to be a great pressing unit. It has definitely been a massive drop from the energy Diaz and Szoboszlai brought to the press when they were playing in the 9 and 10 roles respectively last season. And I mean, we saw the likes of PSG and Barcelona last season. We saw how important it is for you to have a very effective presser in your attack. Dembele and Rafinha never got tired of pressing. Take them out of their respective teams and their entire setup start to look very different. We saw it when they faced each other the other day. It's the same thing we've been seeing with Liverpool this season. The press has been rather lethargic, and it has already cost them. The penalty they conceded against Galatasaray and the late winner against Chelsea both came as a result of poor counter-pressing. And if we're being very honest, much of that is down to them having lost Luis Diaz. You know, another thing Diaz used to offer? Amazing out-of-possession play. His relentless work rate made him a useful tool in forcing the opponents back and helping his teammates move further up the pitch. He's also a great ball winner, dueler and dribbler, and these skills put together enable him to retain possession very often. This season, Liverpool have been lacking that, leading to way too many turnovers. Now, this next one might be pretty intangible, but it's pretty important. Luis Diaz is a very passionate guy who never gives up, which is why even when the confidence and energy of the whole team is low, you'll still see him huffing and puffing. Things like that have a way of infecting other players and giving the whole team a lift. But just look through all Liverpool's attacking options right now and tell us who you think is giving that. It also doesn't help that Szoboszlai has been pushed further back this season because of Wirtz. So, having said all this, should Liverpool have tried to keep Luis Diaz and instead focused on moving Salah on? Of course, it sounds crazy to even suggest this considering the season Salah had, but Liverpool actually seriously considered letting the Egyptian walk. You know, Salah was getting outworked by Diaz and others in training and on the pitch, so they considered letting him go, which would have saved them a whole lot of money in wages. This was why the contract negotiations stalled last season. But then, Salah started to score and kept going to the media to tell the fans that he wants to stay, and it's the club who haven't offered him a new contract yet, and that put the club in a tight corner. With all that pressure from the fans and the media, the management caved and gave Salah a new contract and then subsequently let Diaz go. But now they probably think they made a mistake there, because when Salah isn't scoring, there's not much else he offers. It's like he's a ghost. But even when Diaz isn't scoring, he's still able to affect the game positively. And when things aren't at their very best, you'd be better off having a Diaz than having a Salah in your team. And this season, things just haven't been going great for Liverpool. Even when they were winning, the cracks were obvious. But now, it looks like they've been fully exposed. Now, are we saying that Luis Diaz's exit is the sole reason Liverpool are suffering this season? Surely not. But it's obviously a major factor, as we've explained in this video. It is now time to hear from you. Do you agree that Liverpool made a mistake by selling Luis Diaz? Do you think nothing would have changed if the Colombian was still here? Do you think the money offered by Bayern was just too good to pass on? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notifications so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.